Well, the introduction of innovative drugs in oncology and with particular reference for immune checkpoint inhibitors rose the critical issue of transferability of results from randomized clinical trials to real-world clinical practice. And with this premise, real-world studies may help physicians to assess effectiveness and safety of new drugs, particularly in those patients excluded from clinical trials, such as elderly, poor performance status, and so on. And the oncology network developed in our region allowed the design and conduction of several multi-center real-world studies in oncology, where we try to integrate data from clinical records of the patients with data from health data flows, answering different questions potentially useful for different stakeholders. And the nivolumab is an anti-PD-1 checkpoint inhibitor, which were introduced as second-line treatment of non-small cell lung cancer independently from PD-L1 expression levels. Survival benefit compared with the docetaxel was more evident in the CheckMate 017 regarding squamous histology, while was more modest in the adenocarcinoma subtype, probably because the higher heterogeneity of such tumor. Thus, the identification of patients who may benefit from such treatment, thus leading to a favorable cost-effectiveness ratio, is quite complex in the clinical practice, and non-specific criteria have been set so far. And this is the main rationale leading to our multi-center real-world study on efficacy and early discontinuation predictors in non-small cell lung cancer patients receiving nivolumab. The primary point of the study was to assess median time to treatment failure of patients referred to oncological department of our region receiving nivolumab during 2017, to assess survival of patients with early treatment interruption defined as less than 6 drug doses, and to identify main reason for early treatment discontinuation and clinical pathological features of patients undergoing such early treatment discontinuation. We first assessed treatment duration and survival of the overall patient population in Veneto region who received nivolumab through anonymous health data flows. And then in a second time, we developed a clinical study in order to answer the clinical questions such as which patient will interrupt earlier and which are the main features predicting and the main reasons for early treatment interruption, and what have been the main changes in outcome and budget impact of the whole diagnostic therapeutic pathway on non-small cell lung cancer patients by comparing the core treated with nivolumab with patients treated with the standard of care docetaxel in 2014. Preliminary results were presented at the last LCC Congress. Overall, 2,037 non-small cell lung cancer patients treated with nivolumab across 21 centers during 2017 were identified from all data flows, and 141 patients received at least 6 treatment cycles and 96 received less than 6 cycles. Median time to treatment failure and median overall survival of this overall population were respectively 3.8 and 9.8 months, and median overall survival in patients with and without early treatment discontinuation were 3.3 months and 18.3 months respectively. So clinical records of a preliminary subgroup of patients treated with nivolumab or docetaxel from a single center were analyzed for median time to treatment failure and median overall survival. And median time to treatment failure was 2.3 and 5.6 months respectively in patients treated with docetaxel and nivolumab, and median overall survival was 6.1 and 12.6 months respectively in a patient treated with docetaxel and nivolumab. Median overall survival was 2.9 and 16.5 months in patients with and without treatment discontinuation, early treatment discontinuation respectively. And of note, more important, median overall survival did not differ between patients treated with the standard of care chemotherapy and those treated with nivolumab, what with early treatment discontinuation. Main reason for early treatment discontinuation was clinical radiological progression, and through the correlation analysis, this early treatment discontinuation was significantly associated to the presence of brain metastases, high neutrophil to lymphocyte ratio, and the adenocarcinoma histology. Well, our preliminary results, which will be hopefully confirmed in the overall final study population, may help the identification of patients who really benefit from immunotherapy, especially in pretreated adenocarcinoma patients where the predictive value of PD-L1 expression is quite uncertain and may not be the only factor for patient selection. Yes, I would like to underline that matching data from health data flows and clinical records may reliably map treatment pathway with innovative drugs in oncology. And this methodology will be then applied to other upcoming prospective observational studies with immune checkpoint inhibitors in other settings, for example, in first-line treatment, and with other innovative drugs in thoracic oncology. And these studies are currently under development in our center.